Essequibo laborer remanded on break-and-enter and larceny charge. Tulsiram Persad, a 46-year-old laborer from Ana Regina, Essequibo Coast, was charged with break-and-enter and larceny in connection with an incident involving Dindile Nareen, a 56-year-old businessman from Richmond Housing Scheme. The offense occurred on Saturday, February 8, 2025, at the Ana Regina Old Market. The case was heard on Friday at Suddy Magistrates Court before Her Worship Miss Tamika Clark. During the proceedings, the charge was read to Persad, who was not required to enter a plea. He pleaded not guilty to the charge, but the prosecutor objected to bail. As a result, Persad was remanded to prison, and the case was adjourned to March 14, 2025, for the disclosure of statements. Mr. A. Mohammed hands over new home to mother of 10. 3 weeks ago, Mr. A. Mohammed visited 35-year-old Vanessa Rodriguez and her family at their residence on the Tower Road, Linden/Soesdijk Highway. Earlier today, he returned to officially hand over a new home to the hard-working mother, originally from Jacklow Village, Lower Pomeroon River. After witnessing the challenging living conditions the family faced, Mr. Mohammed made a promise to build them a new home. Miss Rodriguez has been doing her best to support her family with limited resources, which were insufficient to repair their old house. Today, Team Mohammed proudly contributed to improving the lives of yet another family. During the handover ceremony, the mother of 10 was overwhelmed with joy and expressed her heartfelt gratitude to the businessman. Team Mohammed extends its congratulations to Miss Rodriguez on her new home, hoping it brings her family comfort and happiness. Alleged chain snatcher remanded after failed attempt to compensate victim. Guyana News. A 22-year-old man, William Goodisall, was remanded to prison on Friday after appearing in the Georgetown Magistrates Court to face a charge of larceny. He is accused of stealing a gold chain valued at $250,000 from Kelly and Kite on February 4, 2025, at Campbell Street, Georgetown. Goodisall pleaded not guilty when the charge was read by Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty. In his defense, he claimed to be the sole breadwinner for his family and denied any intention of putting them at risk by committing such an act. He suggested that he could pay the victim for the chain as a means of settling the matter. When asked by Magistrate McGusty if she would accept the chain or the money, Kite stated she would accept either option. Goodisall was then granted the opportunity to make a phone call to secure the funds. However, he was unsuccessful in this attempt, leading to his remand. Goodisall is scheduled to return to court on February 21, 2025, with either the gold chain or the equivalent amount of $250,000. Guyanese woman, Venezuelan husband arrested for possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition. A 48-year-old Guyanese businesswoman, Lachmin Romoter, and her 41-year-old Venezuelan husband, Wyalian Rivero, were arrested in Virginogan, East Bank, Essequibo, after police discovered an unlicensed 9mm pistol and 6 matching rounds of ammunition hidden in their home. On Saturday, February 15, 2025, a police team, led by an assistant superintendent, acted on information received and visited the couple's residence at Lot 65 Virginogan. Upon arrival, they met with Lachmin, who consented to a search of the premises. During the search, conducted in the presence of both Lachmin and Wyalian, officers found a bulky plastic bag atop a wardrobe in the bedroom. Inside the bag, they discovered the 9mm pistol along with 6 rounds of ammunition. Both individuals were informed of their offense and cautioned. Under caution, Lachmin stated, "Officer, I gave a boy an ounce of gold and he gave me the gun until he repay me." Conversely, Wyalian denied any knowledge of the firearm or ammunition. The couple was arrested and taken to the Leonora police station, where they remain in custody pending further investigations. Man assaults ex-partner for bringing husband into shared home. Guyana News. A 51-year-old clothing vendor, Renton Reeks, was granted $25,000 bail after appearing in the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday, facing charges of threatening behavior and assault causing bodily harm against his ex-partner, Natasha Morrison. The alleged incident occurred on February 9, 2024, at their shared residence. Reeks pleaded not guilty to the charges, explaining to Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty that his relationship with Morrison ended 5 months ago. He had requested that she vacate the apartment they shared, but she refused to do so. According to Reeks, Morrison married in December 2024 and is now living in the apartment, which he continues to pay for, with her new husband. Frustrated by the situation, Reeks stated that he has been forced to sleep in his car and shower in various locations. He only enters the apartment to retrieve personal items. On the day of the alleged assault, he claimed that Morrison entered his room without permission while he was securing his belongings. After asking her to stay out of his room, she reportedly ran out and threatened to report him to the police. Morrison countered in court that both she and Reeks pay the rent and that their names are on the lease. She stated that the landlord had given her a verbal eviction notice but had not provided a written one. Morrison indicated that she plans to leave the residence by February 28, 2025, based on this notice. Magistrate McGusty set Reeks' bail at $10,000 for the threatening behavior charge and $15,000 for the assault charge. NA hospital gate vendors to be relocated, Health Committee recommends. Guyana Times, the Regional Health Committee of Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, has proposed relocating vendors operating at the main gate of the New Amsterdam Hospital due to increasing concerns over congestion. This recommendation was presented to the Regional Democratic Council, RDC, during a recent meeting. Councillor Camille Cox raised questions during the meeting about potential relocation sites for the vendors. "Where is the recommended spot that they should be relocated to?" she inquired. In response, Sean Smith, head of the Regional Health Committee, noted that there is a previously established vending area on the Garrison roadside. He stated, "There's always been a well-established, known vending area on the Garrison roadside. We know that nobody should be vending in front of the hospital." Regional Chairman Armagon supported the recommendation, emphasizing the urgent need to address congestion, which has escalated to a dangerous level. He recalled a recent incident where a doctor was hit by a lorry due to the ongoing congestion. Armagon remarked, "That particular gate on the Garrison roadside was used by members of the public to visit patients at the hospital, but it was subsequently changed. Now, there's constant congestion at the front gate, and there's always a problem with vehicles parking and people vending there." He stressed that effective enforcement is vital to resolving the issue, stating, "The hospital will have to seek enforcement from the police because if it is the hospital policy that nobody should be vending there and people still continue to do it, then there's a law, and the law has to deal with it. They have to move." Taxi drivers warned over dangerous road practices. Police are intensifying efforts to ensure taxi drivers adhere to road safety regulations amid growing concerns about reckless driving, illegal parking, and traffic obstruction. Inspector Sherwin Henry from the Traffic Headquarters Education Section in Georgetown discussed these initiatives during a recent episode of the televised program Road Safety and You. During the week, we visited various taxi service areas, including the Chetty Jugan International Airport, CJIA, where we engaged with drivers and discussed the rules of the road, Henry stated. He highlighted that authorities are addressing congestion issues at key locations, emphasizing that drivers assured police they would comply with road regulations. The initiative also targeted problematic areas where taxis disrupt traffic flow, such as the Red Road area, where drivers often park haphazardly, causing obstructions. Henry reminded drivers about proper parking practices and the importance of not leaving vehicles in dangerous positions. The outreach extended to several locations, including Agricultural Road and areas near hospitals, focusing on high-traffic zones where taxi operations have raised safety concerns. With ongoing education and enforcement efforts, authorities aim to reduce congestion and enhance road safety. Last year, President Irfan Ali, along with Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh and Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken, called for the full enforcement of traffic laws. The President emphasized utilizing technology, such as body cameras and closed-circuit television, CCTV, to identify reckless drivers. The government has invested in traffic cameras, resulting in hundreds of speeding tickets issued, and is focusing on repeat offenders with plans for legal action, including potential license suspensions. Min Manikchand criticizes Aubrey Norton's comments on "Because We Care" cash grant. Minister of Education Priya Manikchand has sharply criticized leader of the opposition Aubrey Norton for his recent remarks regarding the "Because We Care" cash grant. Norton suggested that if his coalition wins the upcoming elections, the grant would be conditional on school attendance. "I want you to hear that. If they were to come back into office, they would have conditions before you receive the grant," Manikchand stated during a live Facebook broadcast. She emphasized that the current criteria for receiving the grant already include being registered and attending school, verified through a thorough process involving teachers and school officials. Manikchand highlighted that the grant, reintroduced by the PPP/C government in 2020, has consistently increased over the years, noting that it began at $10,000 per child and has risen to $50,000 in 2025, along with an additional $5,000 for uniforms. She pointed out that nearly $11 billion will be allocated this year to benefit approximately 205,000 children. Addressing Norton's comments about the misuse of grant funds, Manikchand described them as offensive and insulting to women, particularly those who are single parents working hard to support their families. To suggest that women will use money and mismanage money means you have no regard for the sacrifices people have made, she asserted. She contrasted the current government's support for children with the previous administration's limited provisions under the 5B program: buses, boats, boots, bicycles, and breakfast, highlighting the increase in resources provided for transportation and nutrition. Manikchand concluded by affirming the government's commitment to supporting families and ensuring that the "Because We Care" grant is utilized effectively for children's well-being. She urged Norton and the APNU/AFC to apologize for what she described as inaccurate statements. PNC and AFC agree with Transparency International's assessment of corruption in Guyana. News source: Guyana. The People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, and the Alliance for Change, AFC, have expressed agreement with Transparency International's recent report, which characterizes Guyana as a nation plagued by corruption. The report describes the country as being captured by economic and political elites, leading to misappropriation of resources, illicit enrichment, and environmental crimes. Although President Irfan Ali has rejected the findings, opposition leader Aubrey Norton stated at a press conference that the government has effectively acknowledged corruption within the procurement system. He noted that certain families and friends of the government are monopolizing contracts. Norton criticized the government for allowing the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, NPTAB, and regional tender boards to violate procurement legislation and failing to strengthen the Public Procurement Commission. He further accused the government of appointing a Commissioner of Information who has stifled the Access to Information Act, limiting the public's ability to scrutinize government actions. The government has refused to reveal important agreements, especially in the oil and gas sector, and has obstructed opposition motions and inquiries seeking transparency, Norton added. He cited the lack of investigations into high-profile scandals and the reassignment of officials involved in corruption. He emphasized that the current administration is undermining democratic principles while plundering the nation's wealth. Norton asserted that under the PPP government, Guyana has lost tens of billions of dollars annually due to corruption, insider trading, and cronyism. At a separate press conference, AFC executive Kemraj Ramjatan echoed these sentiments, asserting that the report validates the alliance's claims of government corruption. He described President Ali's dismissal of the findings as hollow, stating that the report reflects the reality of contract awards favoring friends and family, leading to waste and unaccounted billions. Ramjatan also criticized the government for suppressing parliamentary scrutiny, claiming that corruption has led to the dysfunction of committees tasked with overseeing spending, particularly regarding oil revenues. In its 2025 report, Transparency International assigned Guyana a score of 39 out of 100 on its transparency indicator, reflecting significant concerns about governance and accountability. Report abuse early to the ministry instead of venting on social media, Minister Prasad. Newsroom, Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, has urged the public to report cases of abuse promptly to the ministry rather than expressing frustrations on social media. This appeal comes as the ministry has recorded 275 cases of abuse so far this year, following a staggering 4,038 cases of child abuse reported in 2024. During a press conference held at the National Communications Network (NCN) studio, Dr. Prasad emphasized the importance of early reporting, stating, "Please call us and let us know. An early report can help someone." She highlighted the potential harm caused by venting online instead of taking constructive action. The minister provided a breakdown of reported child sexual abuse cases by region. Region 1, Barima/Wani, 51 cases. Region 2, Pomeroon Supinam, 181 cases. Region 3, Essequibo Islands/West Demerara, 145 cases. Region 4, Demerara/Mahaica, 466 cases. Region 5, Mahaica/Burbis, 83 cases. Region 6, East Burbis/Corentine, 147 cases. Region 7, Cuyuni/Mazaruni, 10 cases. Region 8, Potaro/Siparuni, 21 cases. Region 9, Upper Takutu/Upper Essequibo, 50 cases. Region 10, Upper Demerara/Burbis, 48 cases. Dr. Prasad acknowledged the shortage of child care officers as a significant challenge, pointing out that there is roughly a 90 to 100 case workload per officer. Currently, only 48 child care officers are stationed nationwide, with particular difficulties in addressing needs in hinterland areas. She reiterated her call for the public to utilize the 914 hotline for reporting cases, which was launched in December 2020 to combat the decline in reporting violence and child abuse. Whenever there is a case, we must report it, even if it has nothing to do with us. Don't turn a blind eye, Dr. Prasad encouraged. Additionally, the iMatter app is available for reporting, and police officers have received specialized training under the Cop Squad initiative to effectively handle domestic violence cases and support victims.